Okay, any moment now, Jen Psaki will be taking questions from reporters in that room, screen left. This comes at a time a reporter is now telling Political Magazine that some mainstream media correspondents are afraid to ask questions in that briefing room, or at least tough questions, that is, because they don't want to look like jerks going after Psaki. Let's bring in Joe Concha, Media Hill columnist of Fox News contributor. Okay, that's sort of putting it lightly, because this reporter tells Politico they're afraid to battle Psaki because she makes you look like an a-hole. Joe? Fascinating. So, Sandra, suddenly a confrontation with the press secretary is no longer the in thing. Pretty sure it was during the previous administration. And of course, if this is a general feeling within some in the White House press corps, I guess the whole speaking, truth to power and holding the powerful accountable is no longer a thing as well. And I'm genuinely confused on this one. I got to be honest. It's not like we're dealing with the president with approval in the 50s or the 60s who's getting high marks on inflation and economy and gas prices and crime and the border and education and what's happening overseas. We have an administration that's constantly on the defensive on all of these issues, and it has some major messaging issues in the process. And time and again, the press secretary has been less than truthful on these matters. I mean, she once insisted that all economists agreed with her that adding trillions in new spending would actually help reduce the deficit and inflation. She got a few Pinocchios for that. She once said that Republicans were the ones who wanted to fund the police. Got a few Pinocchios for that. She once declared that the crisis that is really a catastrophe at the border is really Donald Trump's fault, and a completed wall will do nothing to stem the tide of migrants. And I'm old enough to remember when Peter Doocy asked this question, quote, when a huge group of criminals organizes themselves and they want to go loot a store, CVS, Nordstrom, until the shelves are clean, you think that's because of the pandemic? And Psaki answered without ambiguity, yes. So who exactly is looking like the derriere here when challenged, Sandra? Okay. Well, and that's the funny thing, right? There. I mean, it's the... Yeah, well. Joe, we'll hear from her in just a few moments. Perhaps it's a sign she's just good at her job, right? Because these reporters are also complaining that it's just boring to cover this White House. Boring. Oh, so it's about entertainment now. Okay. I didn't realize that. I thought it was actually getting facts. Well, Political Magazine, to be clear, is writing about the rise and fall of the star White House reporter. For years covering the White House was kind of a golden ticket in the media. Then came the Biden administration. I'll put a quote up on the screen for you. Jen Psaki is very good at her job, which is unfortunate, and the work is a lot less rewarding. This is a quote from the reporter, because you're no longer saving democracy from Sean Spicer and his Men's Warehouse suit. Come on, play nice. Jawing with Jen just makes you look like an a-hole, and there it is. Wow. What's wrong with Men's Warehouse? Where do you think I got this thing? I mean, come on. That's not exactly an insult. Yeah, seriously. Look, no, plenty of reporters in the previous administration wrote books, right, and got rich off them, except for Jim Acosta. He wrote a book and no one bought it. But Jonathan Karl wrote a pretty big seller from what I recall, and April Ryan, I believe, did as well, and I could go down the list. So, yeah, those books aren't exactly coming this time, is there? And look, I got to know, by the way, why and how is Jen Psaki still White House press secretary? She hasn't denied reports that she'll be with MSNBC starting this month, and yet, she's able to go measure the drapes for her new shiny new office over at 30 Rock while still representing the president as his spokesperson. Boy, that's one hell of a deal if you could get it, huh, Sandra? Well, you know who's not shy asking tough questions? Our reporters in that room, just to name a couple of them, Jackie Heinrich, Peter Doocy, Heinrich, and we hope those reporters continue to do their jobs and ask the tough questions. That's what they're there for. Joe, great to have you here. Thank you very much. Good to see you. All right,
Thank you, Joe.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.